Do you know how the ninjas were trained? This boy who has knife scars all over his body is practicing his skill. He has to walk over the traps carefully. Traps that got sharp teeth underneath that will be triggered with the slightest force. Suddenly, the boy turned his gaze to his master, whom angrily ordered him to raise his foot and hit on it. 2 blood bruises immediately appeared on it. The same goes with the other foot. Even that, however, does not mean he get to rest a bit. The boy must continue his training. Even a trail of blood was left on the floor. All these are merely the trainings of younger ninjas. However, for adult ninjas, they will have to train directly on those sharp metal teeth, such as press their hands on those metal teeth and do a handstand, or do some push-ups, kiss those metal teeth with their mouths. Their hands must be able to withstand forces of 180 G without being hurt by those metal teeth. And if they can do 100 push-ups in one go, then they'd succeeded in their training. And this man could do 300 in one go. He is the 18th Raikage of the Kimogakure. He is very good with knives, capable of being invisible in the darkness. He's also very good with darts, capable of hitting the targets even with his eyes covered. His hand seals are also very powerful, capable of healing. Let's start his legendary life experience from the beginning. After the Shinobi World War, the village of Kimogakure moved itself to a secluded mountain, and stayed there for the next 1,000 years, until nowadays. The 17th Raikage of the Kimogakure, the old Raikage, often search for orphans throughout the world, then train them to fight while they were still young. Those who were defeated face obsolescence, or even execution, so that they could ultimately become ninja assassins, killing machines that serve the interests of elites of each countries. No one from outside has ever witnessed their true faces. When the orphans first arrived at the village and were having their dinner, the old Raikage made a demonstration of his ability. He cut his hand open with a knife, yet not a single drop of blood has leaked from the wound. Old Raikage said that one's blood can be controlled through willpower. He then grips his hand tightly and performed a hand seal. When he finally opens his hand,
this is the way of the ninja.
Everyone was surprised to see that the wound he inflicted upon himself has been healed. Such is the power of ninja. The young Raikage, however, were more thoughtful of this demonstration than surprised. The classes of ninjas are Genin, Chunin, Jonin, and the highest Kage. The test of Genin has come very soon. The first test was fighting. Young Raikage managed to defeat his opponent with ease, yet he refused to finish him off. The old Raikage angrily lectured him,
without doubt, without pity or remorse, to survive.
The second test was of one's dexterity. Young Raikage slowly steps on the trap, and, with a deep breath, start to walk upon it. All goes well initially, yet the laws of motion is not so easy to be defied. The trap was soon triggered, and young Raikage was punished for it, despite the blood on his feet. However, he has no choice but to continue walk to get this through. At night, the wound inflicted upon him was too much to bear, that he start to cry bitterly, until a girl came to him and secretly helped him to treat his wound. Young Raikage was very grateful for that. After 10 years of hard practices, everyone has reached the level of Genin. Now it's time for the Chunin test, where the young Raikage was pit against one of his elder classmates. They were both excellent with wooden sword, and hence had an even match initially, until the elder classmate kicked young Raikage down with a fake attack. But that couldn't keep young Raikage down for long. He gets up quickly and took down the elder classmate with a kick of his leg. The elder classmate was attacked again by young Raikage as he was about to get up. Apparently young Raikage was more talented than him. Hence, he decides to use dirty tricks to win. He threw a fireball at young Raikage, and used the moment of confusion to beat him down once again. The old Raikage was furious. He asked young Raikage, why do you not finish him when he was down? Does his attack hurt? I will show you what's really hurt. He then attacked young Raikage's waist, caused him to scream, while he was resting.
That is true pain.
Young Raikage once again encountered the girl who helped him before. He finds that she has cut down the wires that hold the bonsai in place. Young Raikage asked her why did she do that. She said that she trusted in the heart of the plant. She also yearns for freedom. At another Chunin test, the young Raikage was ordered to fight without one of his sensations, which the young Raikage choose to give up his sight. He will has to fight with his eyes covered. This time, that elder classmate of his was once again his opponent. Due to his eyes being covered, young Raikage will has to rely on his hearing to fight back. He was hence beat done several times. Enraged, young Raikage went berserk and start to fight back. He managed to block all of the elder classmates' deadly attacks, before sees a chance and kick him down. Eager for vengeance, the elder classmate charged at young Raikage, only for him to be kicked back for almost 8 meters. The young Raikage was victorious once again, and he was granted the title of Chunin. The test of the girl who helped him, however, wasn't going so well as that of his. Although she managed to defeat her opponent, she couldn't bring herself to finish her enemy off. Due to her defiance, The old Reikage wounded her face with a knife and imprisoned her for 7 days. Only thanks to the drinking straw young Reikage gave her did she manage to survive the imprisonment. One night after she was released, the girl decided to escape from here. Young Reikage wanted to stop her, for she will die if she got caught, but the girl doesn't care.
He can never touch my heart.
She brings his hand to her heart to bid him farewell. Then she invited him to escape with him.
What is out there?
Life.
My life is here.
She left with a broken heart. Despite her running fast in the forest, she was ultimately still caught. It was a huge crime to try to escape here in Kimogakure. Hence she would be executed. Before the execution, she looked at young Reikage, who also stared back at her with teary eyes. With the thrust of the sword, she died. So is the heart of young Reikage. The test of Jonin comes after a few months. Young Reikage also received his first mission as a ninja. This strong man is his target. Young Reikage stabbed him on the neck, yet it was of no use. To that strong man, this minor injury is like the sting of a mosquito. He hits back at young Reikage with his fist, cause him to cough blood. Then the man grabbed him by the neck, then throw him to the side. Luckily, young Reikage managed to find his weakness and finished his mission by bring the man's golden watch back to the old Reikage. Young Reikage has managed to pass the test and successfully became a Jonin. Yet the old Reikage remind him,
It will remind you that every moment of your life is a gift I have given you.
Later, another female, Genin, was brought before him. Someone who also attempted to escape. The old Reikage ordered the young Reikage to execute him. Yet staring at her eyes, young Reikage was reminded of the girl back then. Now he finally realized that no matter how hard he trained himself, no matter how much he sacrificed for the order, he will always be just a killing machine to them. This drove him to attack his master with his sword, wounded one of his eyes. The other ninjas all rushed towards him. Despite the numerical disadvantage, young Reikage managed to kill many of them, until he was overwhelmed and jumped into the river. After escaping, young Reikage started to live as a hermit. Meanwhile, under the command of the old Reikage, ninjas continue to carry out assassination missions throughout the world. Usually a ninja will receive a letter before his mission. Should it contains a gauze within, that means the target must be eliminated. For example, this gang leader with tattoos. Him and all his 20 or so men were eliminated by just one ninja. But finally, the international police has noticed the ninja organization. One of the policewomen, Mika, has been investigate the ninjas. Hence she became a target. One day, when she returned home, she find a letter on her chair. Unbeknown to her, a shadow has already walked behind her. Luckily, someone stopped the assassin before he could deal the killing blow. The two figures battled against each other in the darkness, until one of them emerged victorious. That man is young Reikage. He intended to stop his master. Hence he came to protect Mika. Mika bring young Reikage to her colleagues. He was arrested. Her colleague then gives her a tracker and tell her to open it when she's in danger. Suddenly, ninja assassins were here. The police station was suddenly engulfed by darkness. Then a few dozens of ninjas who dressed in black has showed themselves, and somehow managed to avoid the gunfire of the police. Soon most of the police were killed. Mika brought the key and released young Reikage, but her hands were too nervous to function. Meanwhile, the assassins approached them quickly.
We don't have much time!
A ninja showed up almost immediately after the locks of young Reikage was opened. Young Reikage grabbed his head and smashed it on the wall, then used the chain to strangle his neck. Soon all of them were dispatched. Yet the rest of the ninjas are here as well. Young Reikage was gravely wounded, and he run into the elder classmate of his again. Just when he was about to finish young Reikage off, Mika drove her car and hit him away. When they arrived at a hotel, young Reikage has already passed out because of his wound. Mika opened his mouth and placed the tracer inside, then flee from the hotel. Soon the rest of the ninjas are here. They brought young Reikage back to his master. On the road, young Reikage healed himself of most wounds through hand seals. Looking at him, old Reikage was furious. Young Reikage was to be his chosen successor, yet he chose to betray the order. He started to beat young Reikage. Blood spilled from his mouth, as well as the tracker Mika placed within. It was then that the master realizes that something is off. An armored car break through the wall, with a huge searchlight atop it, make these ninjas unable to hide themselves. Then machine guns start to shoot, killing most of the ninjas. Young Reikage managed to break the bind and start to fight that elder classmate of his in single combat. With young Reikage going berserk, the elder classmate was finished in no time. Meanwhile, the battle outside has turned intense, with even RPG rocket launcher being used. The time has indeed changed. Walking past the trap that he used to practice on, young Reikage started to fight his master the old Reikage. Although the old Reikage was very strong and agile and wounded young Reikage many times, he wasn't in a hurry to finish him off. Instead he wanted to toy with him, to break his mind. Young Reikage, on the other hand, vowed to avenge that girl who was murdered many years ago. Once again, young Reikage was beat down. Just when he was about to finish him off, a gunshot came from afar. Mika has come to help. The master once again faded into the darkness, then appeared from behind Mika, and stabbed her in her heart. Witnessing Mika fallen on the ground, further enraged young Reikage, driving by the urge of vengeance, he starts to move around the room like a ghost. Even his master couldn't catch him, until he finally get behind old Reikage and killed him with a knife. Young Reikage carried Mika out of the room, only to find that she yet lives, for her heart lies on the right side of her body. Young Reikage climbing on the tall walls of the Order one last time. Looking at the scenes beneath the wall, a new life awaits him, as the 18th Reikage of the Order, the end. The name of the movie is Ninja Assassin. The question this time is, do you believe ninjutsu truly exists? If you do, send 111. If you do not, send 222. This movie showed us the mysterious ninja culture of Japan. Also has very good fighting scenes. If you are interested, feel free to search and watch the original movie. Alright, that's all this time. Remember to subscribe and leave kudos. See you next time. Bye.